Hello, one and all, and welcome to something of a Mind Games Overcast. So, yesterday I unfortunately did not have the ability to stream this trailer for Hellraiser, so I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to get to that today. So, I think that I have fixed everything that was going on with OBS, so this is round two, but what you did get to enjoy my thoughts on the reveals and some of the news items that we got out of Hellraiser Revival. So now I think that I have fixed all of the issues that had been going on. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to, excuse me, that I was able to do an actual play of the trailer. That way we can take a look at what it is that we've got and give a proper analysis. Now, I am going to pause during this playthrough of this trailer just because you never know with YouTube censors, with copyright, it can be a nightmare to wrangle. So I will just be on the lookout for that, or just understand that that's how I'm going to be playing this particular trailer. And it would be greatly appreciated if you guys could hit the like button. It just helps with the algorithm. So what say we jump right in? Here we go. I love that ticking sound. It really puts you right in the frame of things with the turning of the lament configuration, and just the eeriness of it. It almost sounds like a countdown, and the tension's pretty high. So it looks like I'm getting good audio. So what say we continue?
You have a void.
And believe you me, if there's one person who's going to try to fill the void, it will be Pinhead. So I'm sure everyone has heard already, but we will be having Doug Bradley back, which, shout out to him. I mean, sure, you can get someone else to play it, but man, would they have big pins to fill. Speaking of filling.
A desirous, gaping heart.
Anyone else thought that he said hard on? No, but seriously, she was just, I mean, it's one thing if you're just, banging away at some chick and my God, she just casually has a lament configuration there with her. All right, chick. Whatever you're into, but if company shows up, I'm going to show myself the way out. Whoopsie. So another bit of trivia is that, and I mentioned this yesterday in my reaction to the announcement, but this box is known as the Genesis configuration as opposed to the Lament configuration. I am curious as to what that will entail in the plot. If there's going to be other reveals leading up to the game's launch that go on to explain why this box is called the Genesis configuration and what makes it different from the box that we're used to.
Thirsts for excruciating pleasure.
I love that.
Everything we offer.
The opening there.
We offer.
That is such a intricate part of and you would think it's simply a wall opening up. First off, shout out to the graphics, and I understand that this is, a cutscene or CGI rendering. This might not be in game, but still, that's just, it's such a key item to herald the arrival. I mean, it really is a performance when these Cenobites, and especially Pinhead, arrives. And shout out to the team for just, and you can say, you know, it's a simple recreation of what already is in the film, but still, it's that attention to detail and all of these key components that really add to the mystique and the presence that a figure like the Hell Priest has. And here's the entourage.
She is hellbound. Follow.
So, according to what it is that I have heard, for instance, plot related, this girl who opened the box and summoned her party guests, you being the guy are tasked with having to search the bowels of the labyrinth in order to get her back. Which, I gotta be honest, man, he's a better man than me, because the moment that these guys show up, I'd be like, yeah, I left the cat in the oven, and I don't even know this chick like that, so I'd just be the hell up out of there, pun intended.
For we have such sights to show you.
Excellent. Oh my god. I love that hand gesture. I mean, I'm telling you, man, there's so much, like Freddy, there's so much that goes into these characters. Freddy, Hannibal Lecter, Candyman. There is so much that goes into these characters because they're actual giving them personalities is so key. It's so important and integral to just their characters and the overall aura. And I know that word is used a lot recently, but it really does just create just much more of a presence, of a figure, of a character that you're dealing with, as opposed to some masked maniac that's silent, wielding a knife. And here I knew that we were in good hands. Here now we see that we will not only journey to the labyrinth, but we have audience with Leviathan. I am curious if you will actually, in some manner, communicate with this idol of the Cenobites. That would be interesting, as opposed to, I mean, don't get me wrong, just reaching, and I believe Leviathan is always located in the center of the labyrinth, but it would be interesting to see if there's a way that you interact with Leviathan, as opposed to him just being a presence there, floating in the background. Oh, wait. Oh, before we get there, I thought that this was fascinating. This made me wonder, is this Dr. Channard from Hellraiser 2? If it is, that would be great. That would be a great addition, because for me, Hellraiser works best when it's an ensemble cast, and not just people to be sacrificed to the Cenobites, but when you have even cast members on the bad guys team, you know what I mean? And Dr. Channard would be a great addition to that. So if he is, and my god, look at he's certainly a sadist, not just by who he has on the operating table, but the x-rays or the images strewn around his room. But clearly, take a look at him. He might have been experimenting on himself. Some of that blood might belong to him. And then we have this scene. This made me wonder if this is from the rave scene from Hellraiser 3. And I've always been interested. I mean, it's not a good movie. In fact, it's kind of what starts the nosedive for the franchise. But to me, it's always been interesting to see, like, revelry from a human perspective compared to what if this could be juxtaposed to what the Cenobites would think of as an orgy or a rave. That would be interesting. Like, just a Roman version of what an orgy would look like. You know what I mean? And let's just get back. Oh, Jesus. And Chatterer. Again, this makes me wonder, is this Chenard? Dr. Chenard, who he becomes like some kind of Cenobite in the sequel. Or maybe it's Frank, the brother, I'm sorry, the uncle of the protagonist, Kirsty, from the first one. Oh man, like, check out that table. He's certainly been busy. That's what it is. I couldn't tell when I saw this I thought he was being stabbed in the face with a knife, but no, it's with the box. That's why chains came out. I was confused. I'm like, how? Oh, I see. Because in one scene you have a knife, and in the next scene you have the box. Check it out. Knife, box. Jeez, he rips his head right the hell off. Uh-oh, and what do we have here? Oh, this I wanted to make note of. So, and I mentioned this yesterday in my reaction video to the announcement. I have always felt that Hellraiser should have a return to one of its ingredients that seemingly has been lost, and I don't understand why. Beast of Burden. And what I mean by that is, very quickly, I have always considered Hellraiser to be horror myth. So with any good mythology, you have these underlings, you have these creatures, these monsters. Think of a Hydra, think of a Sphinx. You always have these monsters that appear or are woven into the tapestry of whatever mythology you're dealing with. You'll have your monsters in addition to the idols. So, on the religious side, you have Leviathan, you have his priests, the Order of the Gash, the Cenobites. You've had the Engineer from the first one. That was this scorpion-looking, almost like creature that was created backwards, where its hands are its feet and its feet are its hands. I should say its arms are its legs and its legs are its arms, and its tail is scorpion-like. And I always thought that was fascinating because I always wanted to see more creatures like that. So I'm hoping, because in the interactive medium where you need variety in your enemies, I mean, you can get away with it with something like Alien Isolation, but I've always said that Hellraiser works best when you have these beasts of burden. These just monstrosities and mutations from the Labyrinth. So I'm hoping that's what this is. I'm hoping this is a sign of things to come with monsters like that. Just these abominations that not only roam the Labyrinth, but have specific tasks within it. And what I mean by that is, okay, let's take the Engineer. I always wondered, why is it called the Engineer? Well, what if this creature was tasked with creating new kind of torture chambers within the Labyrinth? And what I mean by that is, with each generation that goes by, as far as humans are concerned, what if it tailored pain and pleasure according to what humans thought of as hedonism? So just food for thought. Anyway, so let's go on with the trailer. That's what I'm hoping that this creature is. And again, in gaming, you need variety with your enemies. So I'm hoping that they tap into that with these beasts of burden, with the Engineer. So let's continue. Oh, Jesus. I love that. So I'm looking at the Red Band trailer. Let's see if I can okay. So there were, I believe this was from the Red Band trailer, not the other trailer, but there's like this police shootout in what seems to be either a forest or a cemetery. So this is a short video of it, and they're like not Cenobites, but definitely those kinds of beasts of burden that I mentioned, and there's multiple varieties of them there. and there are police that arrive, which makes me wonder, like, were the police called because of, I don't know, mutilations or an orgy happening, and then by the time the cops arrive, it's like whatever ritual these creatures or even perhaps these humans were enacting. These are the creatures that are summoned forth or created, like Cenobized, and this is what remains, and this is what is summoned. So I thought that'd be interesting, and I might have to look at a different trailer, but I thought that was an interesting addition to the trailer, if that's what we're in store for. I have always liked the idea of guns being completely useless against whatever monster you're attacking, and please believe that would be the case with Cenobites or any monsters from the Labyrinth. But check out the bodies that are just strewn around, and this appears to be crushed. The top of the police car, several bodies strewn around, but looks like a decapitated head over there. So I might have to look at a different trailer just to be able to get the footage that I'm looking for. I love that. We see, yo, he doesn't even have to say it. He doesn't even have to say it. He just shows you your soul being torn apart. My God. All right, so I really want to. I had thought that that scene that I mentioned with the cops, I thought that was part of this trailer. So let me just adjust and see if I can find it elsewhere. And I'm hoping I'm not crazy. I'm hoping that I actually did see that. Oh, perhaps not. My mistake. I guess I just saw it as an image. But still, I found it to be interesting. I found it to be thought-provoking. Because there is a police shootout in... What was it? There is a police shootout in part 3, which was awful. I'm just like, no. That you wouldn't have that in a Hellraiser anything. So... and there's explosions. Ugh, it just didn't work. So I'm trying to see if here we go. Yeah. I hope that it's visible enough. No. But let me see. Open link? No. Open image tab. Okay. So, yeah, I think that it would be fascinating. Oh, wait. Whatever. I think it would be interesting if you... My God, look at the trees in the back. So, obviously, these... Whatever ritual these creatures or these acolytes or cultists were summoning, it has an area of effect. But, again, it would be interesting. And these aren't Cenobites. At least I don't think. They might just be flayed worshippers of the Cenobites, which would be fascinating to me. But this is intriguing and thought-provoking peek into what we're in store for. So, let me just see. So now let's get back to a couple of notes that I had that I wanted to discuss about this. So, one second. So I think that all of this, I think we're in store for something great. I am hoping that we get to see much more, but it's always funny with these types of things because you don't want too much spoiled, but at the same time, man, it's just one of those, how can I put it? It's one of those stories where you're intrigued by it, and you have to understand, we've gone, and it's crazy to say this out loud, we've gone damn near 40 years of Hellraiser, and like this is the first ever that we're seeing of and there have been other attempts at making a Hellraiser game. Unfortunately, none of them ever went anywhere, which is very unfortunate. But hey, now we get to actually experience this, and I just wanted to give a couple of more insights and a couple of interesting tidbits that I had heard about the behind the scenes and what's to come, what we should expect. So, this game is inspired by the first two films, but keep in mind, the plot remains not directly connected, and it is a new story. So it's an adaptation of Hellraiser. Just you're not going to see the same beats as, or the same plot points as the first two films. So as we saw from the CGI trailer, they are reintroducing us to the world of Hellraiser, where you have lovers embracing, and you are summoning the Cenobites through the box. And a loved one is taken by the Cenobites, and you're tasked with having to journey through the labyrinth in order to reclaim them, in order to try to get them back. But it is going to be its own story, which is good because, hey, I'm happy that we're getting a Hellraiser anything, but it's also great that we're getting a new story, that it's not going to be too familiar to fans of this franchise. Another thing, does anybody else find it kind of eerie? And you must have noticed this during the trailer, that you carry the box with you. So it's not just something that kicks the plot of the game off. No, it's also something that it's a gameplay element. So you're carrying Pandora's box around with you, and who the hell knows, what can come out of it. I always found that rather eerie. So I'm very much, and I like how, again, the trailer gave us interesting insights into what we can expect. It didn't give us too much, but at the same time, it gave us a lot of very little. And what I mean by that is like hints here and there. I'm very much looking forward to what they have in store for the rave scene, if they're going to do it where, again, you are comparing and contrasting what humans look at as, for leisure, versus potentially that juxtaposed with what a rave would be for Cenobites. The cop raid, I'm very much looking forward to how all that's going to go down. Dr. Chernard, hey, man, if they incorporate him, shout out to them. Kudos to the developers for keeping an essential character like him in mind. And again, the Beasts of Burden, I really look forward to seeing hey, it's always great not only seeing the Cenobites, but it would be great if we could see different orders. Like Pinhead belongs to the Order of the Gash. I've always imagined there being other orders of Cenobites. In addition to that, I would very much like to see what minions they have, what other fodder types of monsters that you're going to be confronting. So, as far as me, I've always done gut reactions to trailers. This is the first time I'm doing one live. This is the first time I'm doing one for a game trailer. Now, on the website for the developer is called Boss Team, and they are partnering with Saber Interactive. So on the website that they have for the game, they mention that you will be taking on cultists. Now, I find that interesting because I just imagined like a group of tortured souls in the labyrinth that perhaps worship Cenobites. Like maybe they just decided all of this pain was a bit too much for them to handle. And what if you have humans on the other side in the labyrinth that are like underlings for the Cenobites, maybe worshiping the Cenobites because, better to serve in hell than to suffer as badly as the rest of the sacrifices. Just a thought. And one thing that has been making the rounds as far as the fan base is concerned, there's relief over this game being a single player experience as opposed to the fear that many had over this game taking the form of asymmetrical combat. And what I mean by that is 1v4, PvP, that Dead by Daylight type of gameplay and strategy. So I find it fascinating. I didn't even know about this game, but apparently there was this fear amongst those that had heard rumors of this game's release that it was going to be asymmetrical, that it was going to go the Dead by Daylight route. And hey, again, I said this yesterday. Shout out to Dead by Daylight incorporating Pinhead and I believe the other Cenobites in DLC, because that kept some fraction, some piece of the Hellraiser IP in the minds of other gamers, of other horror fans. So, but you know, it on the one hand, it wouldn't really serve Hellraiser, a Hellraiser game, to take that route, because it's not about survivors running around a house trying to escape Cenobites. You know what I mean? It's much more, a Hellraiser game would require much more of an adventure type of setup, and it really wouldn't serve much the gameplay or the overall lore of Hellraiser in order for it to go the Dead by Daylight route. So, hey, shout out to the developers for understanding that this needs to be a plot-driven game, and it is. So, I will leave you guys with this. I read on Xbox News one tantalizing bit of information. They themselves mentioned that the release date is closer than we think, which, definitely gets my brain box going as to what that could mean. Now, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up and say that, we're getting this Halloween. No, we're only just getting the official announcement. We're only getting information about the collector editions that we can collect for this game. All of this is still new. We just got the trailer. It's highly doubtful, that we're going to be getting this in 3 months' time. So, but I just found that interesting that they themselves mentioned and teased, and mind you, this is on Xbox News. It's not a rumor mill, but the fact that they mentioned that the release date is closer than we think, I found that to be interesting and much appreciated that they would mention that, because they could have just left us in the weeds, and we would just be, not that we would be bereft of any kind of news, because I don't want to say that we got a glut of information, but between the two or three collector editions that they mentioned, between little tidbits about news behind the scenes, the trailer, obviously, the news that Doug Bradley would be back, that Clive Barker worked on the story, we have a lot to tide ourselves over. But they did mention that they would have more reveals to share later this year, which, whether or not with the absence of E3, there are multiple different game conferences. TGS comes to mind. I think Xbox and PlayStation have one in August. I don't remember at the moment. There is the Game Awards in December. Now, again, I'm not trying to get anybody's hopes up. I'm not saying, we have to be getting this this year or in October for Halloween, but all of this information is encouraging, because that tells me that we won't have very long to wait. When I initially saw the trailer yesterday, I'm thinking to myself, this will be 2026. For sure. But 2026, probably the Halloween of that year. But, we have plenty to look forward to, and we can be expecting to have this game. And, we have plenty to tide us over until whenever this game does come out, because there's much more to look forward to as far as horror games as opposed to horror movies. We still have Silent Hill F, and we do know that we have Silent Hill F in October, and then next February we will see Resident Evil Requiem. So we have plenty to tide ourselves over until this game, and plenty of other console and PC horror, and we have plenty to tide us over. So I am very much looking forward to this. I hope that you enjoyed not just my watch of this trailer, but my reaction to it, my impressions watching this live. So let me, as far as I and my channel are concerned.
No more games.
So, let me give you a little rundown of what is on the scene as far as mind games in the greater mind's eye. So, I am in the midst of my own gameplays of survival horror games. I'm going to be doing a playthrough, my round 2 of the survival title, Once Human. I'm going to be playing that tonight, roughly between 8 and 9. I am going to the gym after work, so I do invite you to watch along with me for that playthrough. I am working on a video to go into my impressions of the Megan 2.0 trailer, and I know the movie's already come out, but I still had some alarming observations that I made that I want to discuss. So that is what is on the scene as far as that is concerned. And now let's take a look at what the game plan is and what I have upcoming.
How can you challenge a perfect immortal machine?
Stars. Just stay out of my way. Amazing things will happen here soon. You just wait.
All right, so this Friday, I will be doing a watch party. It will be episode 4 of Dexter Resurrection. I've been doing watch parties every Friday that releases a new episode, and this Friday will be no different. Most likely Sunday, I will do a double feature. I do want to get back into doing watch parties of films as opposed to, look, I want to be able to bounce both watch parties of Dexter as well as other TV that will be coming out later this year, like Alien Earth, which not looking forward to that. Alien Earth, as well as Welcome to Derry, which I'm tepidly looking forward to. I'm cautiously optimistic about that one. In addition to those two, I do want, like I said, I want to get back to doing watch parties of actual films. I'm trying to nail down which. I have two movies in mind that are actual holdovers from last year, so I will be giving much more. I'll be posting about which watch party that I will have in mind for this Sunday. In addition, I will be doing a round 3 of Once Human. I'm kind of behind on all those playthroughs. So most likely Sunday, and I have to see because I do have a very busy schedule this weekend, but I actually want to make sure to do a double feature. 1, a watch party, and number 2, a playthrough. And I do ask that you join me. I do live streams of survival horror games every Tuesday between 8 and 9. So I do invite you to join along with me. And I'm trying to think. I'm also going to be doing for August a recommendation of what I call watch lists of summer horror. Now you might be saying, well, why in August? Well, simple, because you're partying in July, most of you. So you're going to be out and about. So August to me is a perfect time once the summer is winding down to hook up with some horror. Therefore, I've been your control freak Inkarnate, and at this stage of the game, you're playing into my hands. You're resigned to your fate? Time to subscribe to your fears.
Come and play with us. Forever and ever.
Are you talking about the monsters?